started a little meeting now. Richard will speak to us at the end of that.
Hi there.
I'm Pat Ferris. I'm the president of the board of directors for the Cumberland County Historical Society. Everyone's saying shh. So anyway, Pat Ferris, president of the board for the Historical Society, and I have just a few things that I'd like to say other than welcome, and I'm glad you're here at our meeting today. I think you all know that we have a very exciting event happening, that Lindsay Varner has been hired as our executive director, and she'll be starting in December. I think she's in the process, she and her family are in the process of moving here, and we're very excited and have only Kara Curtis to thank for keeping us going at this point. It was kind of a shock to be without an executive director for 6 months, and I was feeling a little stressed about that, but Kara has really stepped in and figured out all the numbers we need in the budget for 2025. It's been quite a maze to get all of our numbers together, and she's kept on the staff and the chair people of our committees and gotten it in pristine condition to vote on. I want to thank everyone. I'm sorry, what? What? Did you want to say something?
She said, "Good going, Richard."
Oh, okay. Thanks, Ann. Where was I? Oh, I wanted to thank everyone for contributing to the Raise the Roof campaign. I think you can see up there that we have a new roof and refurbishing of Todd Hall. It makes it, I think it looks beautiful. We recently got some funding in place to make the sound in here much better and a little bit of lighting here over whoever's speaking. And so we have finished the basic project in here. We're going to be doing a little bit more. Your donations are just so appreciated. And I wanted to then go into talking more about money. The Finance Committee has been talking to the board about we cannot kick the preservation and restoration of our 3 buildings. We can't kick that can down the road anymore. And so we are adding all those capital improvements to our budget. That's what I'm talking about, money so much, for 2025. And it's going to be a very interesting budget. And we're going to choose the projects that we can afford to do, but we're not going to let anything crumble any longer, because we've been so reactive to everything that happens here, water and wind and storm, that it's hard to move forward. And I think we're in a very, very good place now with identifying that there are some problems, but we're going to fix them and not ignore them any longer. I think with my comments, that's it. Again, I'm glad that you're all here today, and I would like to ask our wonderful board to stand up if you're here, and then I'll identify you. You don't have to say your name. Kevin Mass, Al Blitz, Mary Lou Shulman, David Smith, Kay Wetzel, Allison Ross, Carmen James. Not everybody knows you, and Tad Miller. So thanks for being here today. I think here, Kate Dimer, back there, our curator of the Indian exhibit. So thanks for standing up, everybody. Appreciate that. Unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to 2 really, really strong members of our board. Kevin Hess has finished his terms and is finishing with, he's been head of our nominating committee this year, so you'll see him later on in the meeting. He has been the vice president, just really supporting me very much in this kind of difficult year, and I really appreciate his help. Also, Tom Coolidge, who's not here, he's on a work trip. He's our finance committee director and also our treasurer, and he is the one who's getting this budget, hammering us. We have to get this budget correct. And he's leaving. I think he'll stay on the committee, but I just so appreciate his help too for these last 6 years. And now it's time to hear from Kara Curtis, our interim executive director, and she will be talking to us about the state of affairs. Pause the slideshow. As I start my State of the CCHS remarks, let me start by thanking the Board of Trustees for entrusting CCHS to me for the interim. This institution means so much to me, and their faith in placing me at the helm for a few months means a lot to me. I could not have done this without my incredible colleagues, C.G. Berry, the Associate Curator, Beth Bone, the Archives and Library Assistant, Sharon Folkovich, Outreach Director, Colin Henry, the Ann Hoffer Curatorial Mentee, Kim Laidler, the HOH Manager, Matthew March, Education Director, Jen Patel, Associate Archivist, Richard Trent, Photo Curator, Michael Jean, Facilities Manager, Blair Williams, Archives and Library Assistant Director, Lucy Wolf, Admin Assistant, Amanda Bowen, the new HOH Manager, Janice Links, the Director of the, okay, it's not pausing, but whatever. Janice Links, the Director of the West Shore Historical Society, Rachel Zook, who's the Graphic Design and Exhibit Curator. I'd like to say their work, as you know, is exemplary and should be commended. They continue to make this a truly amazing institution to be a part of. We are small and mighty and dedicated to the mission of this institution. I also want to thank all of our dedicated volunteers. This organization needs volunteer support, and we could not do this without you. We cannot say thank you enough for your support and time that you provide CCHS. We could not continue to be as strong as an institution without your continued support. It is a pleasure to work with all of you. If you've ever considered volunteering for CCHS, please speak with Carmen James, and we will find the right spot for you. Plug. 2024 has been an incredibly important and exceptional year for CCHS, reaching its 150th landmark anniversary celebration. We celebrated with our exciting exhibit, a wonderful event at the West Shore Country Club with Jeff Sachara, the return of our block party, and a tea party at the 2 Mile House, which we had originally wanted to have for the house's 200th anniversary, but then COVID happened. Thank you to everyone that came out to one of these events and celebrated with us and made this such a special year. It's been fun to reminisce and look back at photographs of the Society over its 150 years. We've come such a long way since 1874. While we did see so many familiar faces, we've also made so many new friends during this special year. We finally have surpassed our goal of 1,000 memberships. We are reaching new people every day with our current social media project. With the Jim Bradley photograph of the day, this social media campaign has allowed us to engage with tens of thousands of people each month, as the photographs are shared and people reminisce about the location or the event. It's sometimes surprising to the staff which photographs become popular, as it's not always the one we think it's going to be. The Jim Bradley photographic collections are a treasure. At the end of the month, we'll have been posting them for a year. Next year, we might get creative and add in some other photographers. If you are on Facebook and Instagram and you do not follow us, please give us a follow to see what we do next.
Now let me also put on my archives and library director hat for a second, because I also find this incredibly important. We have finally, and this is something I've wanted to do since I started here, do for a very long time, we have finally put part of our catalog online this year. That is amazing. While it's just a section of the catalog, we will be doing this in waves. And this is something that people can finally search from home with targeted parts of the catalog. This is a major deal and something that we will continue to do, and one of the many tools to make the catalog more accessible to people near and far. We hope to continue to partner with outside collaborators like the J. Shugard McGinnis War, Peace, and Justice Project that has put on many insightful exhibitions in the G.B. Stewart Gallery on History and High. We hope this relationship will continue on into the future. We also currently have a very unique and impactful exhibit where art and history combine in that gallery right now called Lift Every Voice. If you've not had a chance to see that exhibit, I recommend seeing that exhibit before it leaves us on November 2nd. Pat has already mentioned it, but this year has been a year of repairs with the year of Raise the Roof. We sincerely thank everyone that has contributed to that effort, and we no longer have to worry every time it rains. This floor is no longer sinking. Which is when you have a chafing dish like this and the water ran. And you currently see the lift in the parking lot. They're working on the brickwork on the northwest corner of the building. So the final stages of that Raise the Roof project are currently happening. There are still work to be done in the buildings, and that work is ongoing to make our buildings the best and most accessible shape for all members of our community. Well, rooted in telling stories about our past, we continue to look to the future in new ways of engaging in telling stories. We're excited to bring our new executive director, Dr. Lindsay Farmer, to CCHS. She's not a stranger to us, as she was previously our outreach director before leaving us to become the executive director of the Rotary Museum in Vermont. With this excitement, I'd love to leave you, our members, with an action item. I would love to ask one thing. We always hear from local people that they've never come to our doors. They didn't know that we were here, that we're such a hidden gem. I would love to ask your help to just be a gem and remove the hidden parts. Bring a friend to the museum or to one of our lectures. Pass along an extra copy of our program calendar to someone who might be interested. We always have extra copies in the foyer, or we'll print one for you. Give a gift membership to a family member or a friend. Once we get someone through the door, we'll do the work to show them that we are the gem. It's the syndrome of you never know what's in your own backyard. Our history should be accessible to everyone. Help us to spread the word about this amazing space, so we'll continue to be the repository of Cumberland County for the next century and a half. Thank you. And now I want to call up Mary Lou. Yes. Yes.
Hello. I would like Kim and Richard to come up to the podium, please. Talking about hidden gems, these are some gems of our society, and we are going to be so sad to see them go. This is the woke generation, but I'm not woke, so I'm going to make a presentation to Kim, because my mother always said women first. This is on behalf of the board to thank you for all your years. Thank you. Kim always had a smile on her face, and I was a delight to work with.
Oh, thank you, because I have so many wonderful people to work with.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
And Richard, it's been a pleasure to work with you. You have guided the photo archive to what it is today, and we're going to miss you. And the board wants you to accept this in appreciation.
Well, thank you very much. I'm going to miss you too.
Yeah.
We'll be back to visit.
We are looking forward to your presentation.
Just bring back your 7-Up dessert.
7-Up salad.
She wants to set up dessert. It's really good.
Yep.
Come up and introduce the board.
Good afternoon. My name is Kevin Hess. I'm Vice President of the Board of Trustees. And Pat appointed me as head of the nominating committee, which included also members Al Blitz and Mary Lou Shaman. Just for your information, and I'm sure many of you are aware of this, the Board of Trustees consists of 15 members who are elected here at this general membership meeting to serve for 3-year terms. So not surprisingly, there are 5 members every 3 years whose terms need to be addressed during the meeting. The rules, the bylaws also allow a member to automatically go on to a second 3-year term at their option. And we have 2 members of the board who are in that position. And I'm happy to report that they have agreed to extend their term for a second 3-year term. That's Mary Lou Shaman and Julie Young. And they have agreed to do that. So there are 3 positions that we are asking you as the members of the board of the general membership to approve this afternoon. The 3 names are in your bulletin. And as I say, we contacted all of these people, and there was an agreement among the members of the nominating committee that I just mentioned to submit their names to you. The first is David Smith, who's no stranger to you. He earlier had a break in service and then went on to fill the term of a member who had previously resigned. So he is now eligible to be considered to serve a term in his own right, and we're pleased, very pleased, to place his name in nomination. As I said, David is well known to you in this other thing that's been flashing up here, this study in divided attention. You'll see that he's mentioned among our several publications. He's been a loyal member of the Society. He's served on the board in the past. He's, of course, the publisher of our journal that you received, and author in his own right, and currently completing an update on his book on the babes in the woods. So we're pleased to submit David's name. The second person who's agreed to serve as a new member of the board is Robert Hall. I think he's known to many of you. Robert is a retired Cumberland County businessman. He's a philanthropist, former chairman of the Hall Foundation. Robert served as its chair since 2007, and he's gone on to serve as chairman of that board emeritus. He followed his brother Gerald Hall, who some of you may know, who was chairman from 1989 to 2007. And that organization, by the way, was founded in 1952 by their father, John Hall, who led the organization at its beginning. That Camp Hill Foundation, as a matter of information, accepts requests for grants and supports charities with funds for scholarships and community programs and the like. Robert and his wife Amy live in Camp Hill, and we're looking forward to his membership on our board. The third member is Julie Germany. Julie has long been associated with the Army Heritage Foundation, which you know has a facility out here at the Army War College. She is now its president. As such, she's involved as a historian in her own right, preserving the story of our soldiers. She is a director of many other things, involved in lots of organizations. As I'm about to say, the director of the White Coat Waste Project and founder of a PAC to End, which ends funding for the use of animals in animal testing. She serves on the Downtown Carlisle Association. She's on their promotion committee. She's also involved in numerous organizations, one being the Generation Opportunity, the DCI group, organizations like that, whose emphasis is on communication, programming, and public outreach in matters actually of national importance. And she also is involved in South by Southwest, which some of you may know has international connections. She's an author and editor also, and she and her husband share time between Carlisle and Alexandria, Virginia. She has a herd of cats. She gave me all their names. I'm not going to go through them now, but in addition to herding her cats, she is very active in rescuing injured and neglected animals. So she's a very special person. So the third nominee would be Julie Germany. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Now, may I ask for a motion to approve these members?
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I vote. I'm opposed to retention.
Duly noted. Okay, moving on from our new board members, motion passed, and so we're happy to welcome them onto the board for 2025. Thank you again, Kevin and the committee. Now, I'm going to ask Alvin Blitz, who is a board member, finance committee member, new treasurer, and he's going to give us just a little information and advertisement for his upcoming year-end tax planning event. Alvin.
Good afternoon, everybody. Probably most of you remember me as the head of the Raise the Roof campaign, so luckily I'm not here to ask for more money. We'll save that for another time. But we did raise $520,000 in that time period, so I want to say it was wonderful, everybody here in the room that pitched in and to make this event happen in such a short period of time as we did last year. Quick background on me, I practiced law with Eckert Siemens in the 90s and then worked for Masonic Villages in Elizabethtown. Many of you may know that place as their head of their gift planning office, where I did a lot of estate and financial planning workshops and worked with Masons all over the country doing their estate and charitable plans. The Plan Giving Committee is launching an educational series for estate and financial planning through next year. We also, just a quick primer, we will be launching our new Hamilton Legacy Society next year also, so you'll be hearing more about that. But the first in this series will be a year-end tax planning seminar. That will be November 8th, and as my son always fondly reminds me on Friday, that's a Friday, but it's 5 o'clock somewheres. And so at 2 o'clock, we'll be having wine and cheese for those that are interested in attending. So it says snacks, but those that you would like to have something to start your weekend at 2 o'clock, please show up. I promise you it'll be an interesting and short seminar and very informative about things to be concerned about for the next year. And, Sharon just told me there's flyers in the back with information.
With dessert.
Oh, with the desserts. But there's no wine there. But you come in and hear about that. We'll talk about the different ways you can make giving, you can give your children, tax savings, and you'll hear about the new tax law changes that may come into effect then depending on which way the election goes in November. And to prepare, and November 8th will be after that, so I'll be able to give you more enlightened information on that. So we look forward to those that have the time to come at 2 o'clock here at Todd Hall on November 8th. Thank you.
Thank you, Alvin. It sounds informative and a lot of fun, actually, so you should all attend. And now we're at the portion of our meeting where we're going to present annual awards for service. And I think that Allison Ross, a board member, is going to...
And Matthew Marks.
No,
We've got a team.
and Kara
We're a
is
team.
going
We're
to
a team.
present,
Yes,
and
we're a
Matt
team.
is going to present, and I am going to say thank you. Sorry to speak. I think we'll start with Mary. Actually, that one.
But we do not normally usually honor sitting board members and staff. We feel this year is special. So we have a special project recognition for the 150th Anniversary Committee. The Historical Society's Award Committee wanted to honor and give special recognition to the 150th Anniversary Committee for its tireless dedication and hard work to celebrate this special milestone for our institution. Led by the committee member and board member Mary Lou Schauman, the 150th Anniversary Committee made this special once-in-a-lifetime event commemorating the institution. The award committee wants to recognize the unique and memorable contributions made by the committee members, both individually and collectively, toward this significant event.
Thank you. Actually, I was volunteering here when they had the 100th anniversary in 1974, and Ann Hoffer was the head of the annual dinner. I had no idea that 50 years later I would still be here, but I'm very happy to be here. I couldn't have done any of this without the committee, the 150th committee, and all the wonderful people who work here. We also published a book called The 150th Pictorial History with several hundred photos, and the committee members, obviously, I'm thanking. And again, I would like to thank David Pfeiffer and Charles Stone for underwriting the book. I know I won't be here for the 175th.
Don't say it.
But thank you so much, this organization and its people who meant a lot to me during my life. Thank you.
Good afternoon. This is for the Roger K. and Helen E. Todd Distinguished Service Award. And this year we presented to Rosemary Smith. Rosemary has been an education department volunteer since at least 2009. She was a pioneer in providing local history to Carlisle area school district students by literally writing the book of their history. And that was provided to all third graders. Along with providing in-class instruction, Rosemary has provided museum tours for thousands of students participating in their county seat walking tour. She is also and has been a museum docent for all these many years. Rosemary cannot be here today, but we would like to recognize her anyway.
Next is the Milton E. Flower Historian of the Year Award, which we're presenting to Jerry Klaus. Jerry has made significant contributions to the historical record for South Central Pennsylvania. He started his career as an architectural historian, working on the architectural survey for Cumberland County, completed in the late 1980s. During his time working for the Pennsylvania Historical Museum Commission, he authored The Whiskey Rebellion, Southwestern Pennsylvania's Frontier People Test the American Constitution, which I know you still use. In 2008, Jerry was curator of the CCHS exhibit, Earth, Fire, and Form, the Potteries of South Central Pennsylvania. However, Jerry does not limit himself to Cumberland County and also makes significant contributions to the historical knowledge of Perry County, including as a co-founder of the Perry Historians. As Perry County was part of Cumberland County until 1820, this is incredibly important to us. In 2022, he authored a book very near to his heart, Henry's Valley, A Storied Place, Life Within the Folds of the Blue Mountain. Jerry Klaus serves on the board of directors for the Historic Barn and Farm Foundation of Pennsylvania, co-authoring books for their 2019 and 2023 annual meetings on the innovation of agriculture and barn building in Perry County and Cumberland County, respectively. It is my honor to present this award to Jerry Klaus today.
Yay, Jerry.
I very much appreciate this unexpected honor. I must mention that I first did research here in 1968 in a much smaller library as part of a senior high school project. My subject was the Doubling Gap Hotel, and as part of that research, I interviewed neighbors and relatives in the Newville area. Among the most fascinating stories from those who worked at the hotel was the one from my great aunt, Mame Euler, who recalled being a waitress for Lieutenant Richard Pratt of the Carlisle Indian School, whom she found to be quite arrogant at the time. From that research experience, I became hooked on local history, and as some of you may know, I continue to research and write on local topics. Again, I humbly appreciate this honor. Thank you.
Good going, Jerry. Jerry. Jim.
Next up is the William Foshag Preservation Award. That will be presented to the Cumberland Valley Preservation Society at Silver Spring for the preservation of the Junkin House. The Junkin House is an 18th century farmhouse on North Locust Road, just north of US Route 11 in Silver Spring Township. It was built by Joseph Junkin Sr., who received a warrant for land in Cumberland County in 1753. Subsequent purchases of additional land were made, and he received a patent in 1788 for all of his land. The property passed to his son Benjamin, and then to John Carruthers, who sold it to John King, who received a deed in 1814. King laid out the village of New Kingston. Dennis Urchick led the effort to develop the Cumberland Valley Preservation Society of Silver Spring. More than 10 years ago, he set out to preserve the Junkin House. It was threatened for demolition as the area became developed commercially. The house has been saved and moved to a safer location along North Locust Road. They have worked with landowners and township personnel to make this happen. Now, they are working to make the house accessible to the public as the focus shifts to the interior of the house. Please have.
Penny, would you like to come up and accept the award for the organization?
On behalf of the association and all of our members of the Conservation and Preservation Committee, and especially the Junkin family, we're excited to receive this award. And I talked to them about it, and they said, job well done. As you can see, we started this in 2010 just with the goal of just saving the house and keeping it from being demolished. Last year, the banner year 2023, we managed to move the house after years of threats of it being torn down. So we were very happy to do that. The photograph you see is the current of the winter time where we have it all filled in. Everybody that I've talked to, they all know me that I do cliches. And one of the things that a guy told me a long time ago, his name was Walter Bayshore. He used to work as a young man with the WPA. And I said to Walter, I said, well, what's the WPA stand for? He said, well, we poke along. We've poked along for 14 years. And so it's been difficult. The time has gone by quickly. A lot of trials and tribulations, COVID, going through COVID, relocation of Carlo Pike, relocation of the trucking concern that owned the property, owned the house. And so being at a privately funded organization, it was difficult at times, but we managed to endure. So we're happy to know that we see the house is going to be preserved. We're working forward now to get it open so people can go inside. And so it's a better days are ahead. Thank you for that.
In my short time as interim director, I had so much power to hand out an executive director award, and I chose to do it. So there. And I chose, and because this one doesn't have to go out every year, but I wanted to give it to Richard, and I did. Richard, if you didn't know, had a job before he worked here. He had a whole career before he worked here. Richard was a high school French teacher, and then came and had a whole second career here in the Historical Society. And he is the embodiment of passion for local history. Due to his effort, the photo archives at CCHS have grown to one of the largest and best acknowledged photo collections in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. He has led a group of dedicated volunteers, I see a bunch of them here today, in scanning and cataloging and preserving an extensive collection of Cumberland County photographs. In addition, he has written books about the local area at a place called Boiling Springs, a book about his adopted hometown in Boiling Springs. He led a committee that researched and wrote Cumberland County, Pennsylvania water-powered mills, and has served on other committees, including one that researched and wrote the most depressing and fun book, Remembering Lost Cumberland County, Pennsylvania. He has also written extensively about the Tritt family of Swiss immigrants, which of course he is a descendant, and early history of the First Presbyterian Church. Here Lies the Body, the story of Meeting House Springs. He's been a quiet yet forceful member of the staff at the Society for the past 30 years, and his retirement will leave an immense hole in the fabric of the Society. The breadth of topics he has covered is awe-inspiring. He knows so much about Cumberland County and its history, and has shared so much through writing articles and books, for which we will be forever grateful.
Thank you. I didn't really recognize that person from that description. I appreciate very much this award. And I thank Ann Hoffer and Linda Smith for taking the chance on me 40 years ago, 30 some, and hiring me here. And I especially want to thank all my volunteers over the years who really have helped make the photo archives grow. I always have loved pictures, and I love my job. So thank you very much for this honor.
Do you want me to put this as I do not, I was just going to ask you, you're going to say, okay, now.
Okay, and then Richard asked that we have a quick break before he gives his presentation. So take a quick break and then we'll meet back here at 2.